They just can't let it be, bro. The Sparking Zero haters have no argument. This is the second time, this is the second person that I've seen upload a video trying to defame, criticize, downplay what Sparking Zero is and what it's doing, and they have no argument. Perfection, which is another YouTube channel, is notorious for basically trolling the community and trying to just make, it just makes super bad takes and has no real argument, and I don't know how he gets the light of day. But anyway, this channel goes by the name of Gameology. Let me go ahead and put it on screen right now. They uploaded a video titled "Why Dragon Ball Sparking Zero Feels So Familiar and Not in a Good Way." First of all, what the fuck is that title? First, okay, they claim, I'm not going to play the video. I'll probably put snippets here and there of like the points they try to make and then my counter argument. There really isn't an argument here, but just for the sake of fun, they say Sparking Zero is not a good fighting game. And now this person, whoever they are that's reviewing it, goes into detail about how FighterZ is like a superior fighting game. These other 2D fighters like Street Fighter, these like 2.5D like Tekken. First of all, why are you comparing like the Budokai Tenkaichi series to something that is completely unrelated? That's so stupid. Not only that, but a lot of the points that he makes on why Sparking Zero is bad, he uses them to make it seem like that's why FighterZ is good. Like at one point he goes like the controls in Sparking Zero are janky, but then when he talks about FighterZ, he's like the controls in Dragon Ball FighterZ are janky, but aren't all Dragon Ball games? Like I think whoever they got to review this clearly either never played it, which they claim to have gotten a copy, but every single point that they try to make, they show footage of like the very first like beta build of the game, where it wasn't any, like if you look at the very first beta of Sparking Zero and then now, night and day difference. And that's what all of their points are leaning into. It's so stupid, but I don't know. I said I wasn't going to play the video, but I kind of want to, just so I can, just to make it easier on countering everything they say. I don't know, bro. This is crazy. Okay, let's spot what's wrong with them. One of them is Xenoverse 2. One is Raging Blast 2. Or 1. I never played the first one, but it's probably Raging Blast 2. Okay.
Goku and Vegeta battling it out in a Utah-looking desert? It's a classic clash that took DBZ into the modern era. And with the new engine, you can likely pick out which one is the newest game. Sparking Zero.
Yes, obviously, it looks the best.
But which one is the second newest?
What point are you trying to make here? Which one is the second newest? Let's see, you got Raging Blast 2 at the top left. You have Xenoverse 2 at the top right. You have, what is that, Battle of Gods? I have no idea what this bottom left one could be. And then this is obviously Burst Limit. Obviously Xenoverse, like this one, not only does it still look the most new, but it's so obvious that this doesn't even need to be a question. And then not only that, but these two, the top left and the bottom right, play completely different than the top right one. You can look at that and see. But let's continue. Yes.
Faster, smoother.
It does for Xenoverse, yeah.
Closer to the source material. Besides the graphics, it's almost impossible to tell. And that's a problem. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero
Is bro's monitor off?
is looking to switch up the DBZ Arena Fighter formula. But the truth is, it fails to switch up the formula at all.
Okay, so your first point was that, is it closer to the source material? And Sparking Zero is by far the closest to the source material in terms of like the small minute things, like having destruction cover up part of the screen for a momentary time. You can do things like strategy, like throw a key blast through it. You can go around it. There's a lot of, and then not only that, but they've updated transformations to be a lot more accurate to the anime and the manga. I've actually uploaded a video, my last video, going over that.
But the truth is, it fails to switch up the formula at all. There have been well over 100 titles in the DBZ franchise.
Notice how all of these games are not like Tenkaichi.
From the sublime to the absurd. But when Dragon Ball started using a bullet...
Oh, let's see what he's got to say about Budokai, okay? Please talk shit about Budokai, bro. Please.
Plate Arena Fighter template back in 2002.
Budokai Arena Fighter? Okay.
Of the Budokai series, franchises felt like it's been stuck in a hyperbolic time chamber. With over 20 different DBZ arena fighters released in the past 20 years.
Oh, okay. Let's break this down, right? Budokai, I'm gonna break down all the ones that aren't played like Tenkaichi. Okay, you got Budokai 1, FighterZ, Legends is a mobile game, Budokai 2, which is the, you know, the sequel to Budokai 1, Budokai 3, sequel to Budokai 2, Dragon Ball Z Sagas. That's a story game that doesn't even have multiplayer. Xenoverse 1 is, after all these games, is the most similar to the Tenkaichi series, but even then, if you've played the games, if you've played both, it is not that hard to note the differences in those two games, those two series. Super Battle, which I have no idea what that is, but that the way the icon looks, it looks like an old ass game. Burst Limit, which is basically a more glorified Budokai. Raging Blast and Raging Blast 2, which Raging Blast and Raging Blast 2, you could make the argument that it's similar to Tenkaichi, but even then, it's still different if you've played those games. That's the thing. If you've even touched these games for 5 minutes, you can tell that they're different, and clearly this guy hasn't.
Sparking Zero promises to be more of an exercise in nostalgia than an actual competitive fighting game.
I don't think they said that. I don't think they claimed to it not being a competitive fighting game. Otherwise, why would they have ranked? And also, it definitely didn't claim to be a story-driven game, because they said that they didn't want to repeat what Kakarot did. So the ground rules were already set from the get-go. It's a fighting game that's a direct sequel to Tenkaichi 3. It's the same name, the same title, same everything. It's literally the sequel to something that came out 17 years ago.
Got a new hat. Dragon Ball fans deserve better.
And we're getting it. Newsflash, buddy. We got it.
Full disclosure, I've been a huge Dragon Ball fan since I stumbled across it on Spanish Access Television when I was 10 years old.
That may be true. I don't want to discredit that. He may be the biggest Dragon Ball fan ever. So far, your takes are shit.
I love Dragon Ball. Okay, it means more to me than any other animated franchise. I named my cat Piccolo, and
I feel like somebody set him up to do this. I feel like this is his job, and they were like, look, we need you to talk about Sparking Zero. And he's like, yeah, dude, but that game looks so fun. Sorry, man, we need some hot takes in here, and we need you to talk bad about it. And meanwhile, he's like got a gun to his head, talking. Somebody's trying to like peer pressure him into saying bad stuff.
sometimes dress him up like Lord Beerus. That's why I need Dragon Ball Z to do better.
Even the, what was that movie, Dragon Ball Evolution, even the game that came with it, the game actually looks kind of crazy. I'm never going to play it, but it looks crazy because it's so similar to like Burst Limit, just with, you know, Dragon Ball Evolution skins.
Looking back on the past is comforting, but we can't live in it forever. We deserve either a transformative leap forward for the series or a sequel to the only transcendent Dragon Ball game over the last decade.
Transcendent. What do you mean by that? Because yes, Dragon Ball FighterZ is definitely one of the best Dragon Ball games out there, but the thing is that the thing that he's failing to understand is that that's an entirely different game type. Think of all the big franchises out there that have made offshoot games. Think of Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter is a prime example. You have the normal Monster Hunter games that made it popular, and then you have all these offshoots like Monster Hunter Puzzle, these mobile games and stuff like that that are for a different audience. Dragon Ball FighterZ is just a different game entirely. If you want a sequel to Dragon Ball FighterZ, then say that. You don't need to shit on something that's not even related to it.
I played Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and unfortunately, my fears were confirmed. This is deja vu all over again.
The controls are meh.
Now, the Sparking Zero graphics are the best they've ever been, and I applaud them for having destructible environments and trees that sway when hit with key power, but
Key power, okay.
graphics alone do not make a game.
Graphics alone don't make a game. That is true. I'll give them that. Graphics alone don't make a game. However, in a game like this, in a game that has a very good formula, aka Tenkaichi 3, graphics can carry it because the formula's there. Just make Tenkaichi 3, but better. That's all this is. People are looking way too deep into it.
It's much slower than it looks. Really?
Oh yeah, by the way, this is the very first build of the game. Let's just go back and look at this.
Not make
very first build of Sparking Zero, by the way. So clearly, if he played the game, he'd have updated footage.
When you dissect the match, it's much slower than it looks. Real impact and damage is far apart, and it doesn't have the back and forth, keep them guessing momentum battles of top fighting games.
It's not one of those types of games. I feel like remember that interview with RG3 from the Washington Redskins where he was like, they kept asking him questions about the game. He was like, I don't know, man, I'm just going to focus on Cincinnati. I feel like every time he says anything related to a 2D fighting game or something like this, like MK, Street Fighter, I'm just gonna be like, I don't know, man. I think this is just an entirely different archetype of game.
We're seeing stagnation in the gameplay sphere, where Sparking Zero is extremely similar to the last several dozen Dragon Ball Arena fighters. It feels more like the return.
I feel like he's using arena fighters in the wrong way here. Budokai, in my opinion, is not an arena fighter. Budokai is like more technical than an arena fighter is, like Storm or even Sparking Zero, like Tenkaichi. Every game has its meta, but to call the regular Budokai series an arena fighter is kind of crazy because the button inputs and stuff are not easy compared to Tenkaichi.
Of the EA Sports College Football.
Oh, now we're bringing sport. Now we're bringing sports games into a fighting game video.
Than a new spin on Dragon Ball. Updated graphics with familiar controls. And I need to talk about those controls because if you've ever wondered what it's like to be one of the Z fighters, turn elsewhere because the controls are not great.
Wait. What was that again?
Talk about those controls because if you've ever wondered what it's like to be one of the Z fighters, turn elsewhere.
If you've ever wondered what it was like to be a Z fighter, well, if I was a Z fighter, I sure as fuck wouldn't be worrying about how it feels to control myself.
Because the controls are not great. Dragon Ball is at its best when it delivers on fighting and yelling. And Sparking Zero does have a dedicated...
I feel like that's how most people that don't keep up with Dragon Ball actually view Dragon Ball. Oh, dude, it's just fighting and yelling and flashing colors on the screen.
Yell button. Yelling makes your special bar max out. And then you can pull off bigger moves and Kamehameha.
Wait, did he say yelling makes your...
Special bar max out.
I'm sorry, bro. I can't take this dude seriously.
Zero does have a dedicated yell button.
This motherfucker, a dedicated yell button.
Yelling makes your special bar max out. And then you can pull off bigger moves and Kamehamehas. But it comes at the cost of pacing. Powering
Oh yeah, by the way, he threw that motherfucker like halfway across the screen.
up freezes you in place while your special bar fills up, leaving you vulnerable to attack. Sure, that's part of DBZ, but it still makes the game feel clunky.
Every game is like that though. Even your so-called transcendent Dragon Ball game, you had to stand still to charge ki. And then if you want to make the argument, well, yeah, you could just land combos and build ki that way. Same thing works in Sparking Zero and Tenkaichi.
Here's why. It's because the controls are too complex for casuals, but not technical enough for hardcore gamers.
Okay, even if you want to make the argument that it's too complex for a casual, it's not, because you just mash square or X. And if you're a competitive player, it makes... So here's the thing. In fighting games, and because you seem to be a connoisseur on, you know, actual fighting games, learning combos is the first thing you do in a fighting game. Scheme and strategy come after that.
It's been 20 years since Dragon Ball Budokai 1, and transitioning from ground to air combat is still awkward.
Yeah, it is. It's a game that came out in like 2002.
Locking on doesn't feel right. Ascending and descending could be streamlined, and it's not always clear if you whiffed a beam because of something you did, or if you just weren't on the right plane.
And then he shows footage of a giant building blocking his path.
You might even find yourself fighting underwater, but it doesn't slow you down or change anything at all.
It does. It makes you charge ki slower, but you wouldn't have known that because you think charging ki is just yelling.
Just puts on a slightly different filter. The best fighting games, like Street Fighter, Tekken, and Under Night In-Birth,
I don't know, bro. This seems like a completely unrelated archetype of game.
feel like you're mimicking character motion, gathering power, and pushing a button to release it. There's an emphasis on frame advantage.
By the way, this is like he's like the first person to ever say that the controls feel bad. Everybody that has actually played the game, and especially even more specifically, the updated versions and builds of the game say it feels exactly like Tenkaichi 3, but mo better.
Even the best fighting games can sometimes devolve into button mashing, but this is so counterintuitive that it borders on parody, which, hey, might be appropriate. Have you ever watched a Dragon Ball fight? It's all fast punches that don't hit, a knockdown, and a beam to finish it. It's awesome.
Yeah, you'll be doing that in Sparking Zero if you're actually ass at the game.
To watch. But when you're watching Goku punch so fast that those frames repeat, or he's moving faster than your eyes can clock, that's primarily so animators don't have to draw as much. But it doesn't.
Oh, so now we're roasting the actual animation style of the game. Gotcha.
Translate well to gameplay. Playing it is a different beast. It sucks all the energy out of something that in the anime was deliberately paced that way to save budget. So,
what are we, bro is on a whole nother level. Maybe I'm thinking of it wrong, but he went from comparing completely unrelated archetypes of fighting games to this one, to then comparing the fact that there were scenes and animation cut out to save money. Bro, how the fuck, I don't know.
Does Sparking Zero have going for it? Well, for one, there's a huge roster.
Wow.
Fortunately, there's almost no character differentiation.
First of all, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna let him do his thing. You got brute characters, you got characters with hyper armor, you got giant characters, you got speed characters, you got zoner characters, and you got androids. And not only that, you have fusions, you have transformations. Each fusion transformation gives you stat increases, stuff like that. Okay.
A lot of the characters share animations and combos. Functionally,
okay, this is, are you new? Are you actually a fan of Dragon Ball? There's like 7 million characters that all do the same Kamehameha type blast, but you're a fan.
There are probably closer to a dozen or so character types, and that's being generous. With 182 slots, who's champing at the bit to play characters like Nail and Kakunsa? If they're gonna go all out, I want some crazy characters. Bulma in a robot.
How do you delete somebody else's video?
Taco shirt Krillin. World tournament announcer. Farmer with a shotgun.
Bro, it sounds like dude needs to go play Dragon Ball Breakers.
Pay tribute to Toriyama by having one of his self-inserts be playable. There's an aspect of power scaling.
Bro, don't curse him by putting him in this a video like this.
Someone like Super Saiyan Blue Goku hits several times harder than Yamcha.
Yeah, because it makes sense.
Which he well should, but that's a poor substitute for balance.
They already said that there was going to be zero balance in this game. If you've played Tenkaichi 3 or 2 or 1, it's the same case. Cyberman hits the least in the game because he's the weakest character in the game. In this new one, Jiren's probably going to be the hardest hitting character and the most OP compared to Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. It's by design. I don't see the issue. I don't see how this is an argument when they outright say that this is how it's going to be and it's not going to change.
Other games represent power differential matchups by showing different moves and impact. Still, because every Sparking Zero character feels the same with only slight differences.
I like how the Sparking, he says it's Sparking Zero, but he's got all the Tenkaichi 3 renders. And then he has some renders from Dokkan Battle. And who is this guy? He's not even playable. Okay, bro.
The best we can hope to get is the occasional character-specific power-up animation. But exploring a bunch of different martial arts styles, whether it's MMA or drunken boxing, brings life into fighting games. Street Fighter 6 launched
I don't know, bro. It seems like a completely unrelated archetype.
with 18 characters. For the most part, they played differently and oozed with unique styles. Grapplers, rushdown characters, zone types, stance types, and a bunch more. Chun-Li has a different philosophy behind her than Zangief and demands a different playstyle. This doesn't really seem to be the case in Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention an archetype, the human archetype. They can't they can fly, but they can't fly forever. And then you have characters like Yajirobe that have his own special thing. I don't think this guy played the game. I'm gonna be honest.
Where all characters are slight variations of Goku. Sparking Zero only has 2 archetypes, normal and big.
Oh my god, it hurts. It hurts so bad.
It's not an entirely new mechanic, but it was a bit different to play as Uzaro Vegeta, a giant ape form.
Not even Uzaru Vegeta. I guess he thought Uzaru sounded cooler than Great Ape.
That moved very slowly and had harder punches. But the controls are so floaty and tanky to begin with, it felt more frustrating than anything. So once you've played one character...
Oh, wait. What was that? A watermark. So this isn't his own footage. I'm telling you, bro, this dude didn't play the fucking game.
It felt more frustrating than anything. So once you've played one character, you've basically played them all. Dragon Ball Z games might be all about fighting and yelling, but Dragon Ball as a whole is so much more. And the games have a hard time bringing that sense of fun and confidence to the forefront.
The Dragon Ball game we all want. Hate to break it to you, but Sparking Zero is that game, pal.
Goku himself is heavily influenced by Journey to the West. With his monkey tail, super strength, and martial arts abilities, as well as his mischievous nature, Goku is a modern-day Sun Wukong. As a matter of fact, Sun Wukong translates to Son Goku in Japanese. In the first Dragon Ball series, especially.
Like he's throwing this in to like just for time. This shit is completely unrelated to Sparking Zero.
Reflects that. It's far more grounded and focused on exploration. There are moments along the way that would be perfect for a new game. For all the talking cats and horny sidekicks Goku might come across, there's a sense of world building that's missing when it's conveyed solely through punching. The anime hinges on big moments and relationships.
Sounds like he has a problem with like how the anime is nowadays and not just the game.
Red Ribbon Army with Bulma, or meeting Yamcha for the first time, or just how many bonds were formed during the first World Martial Arts Tournament. This game strips out all the context for these deep, meaningful friendships the Z family is built on.
Bro needs to go back and play just play Dragon Ball Kakarot. They'll come up with a Dragon Ball Saga soon, and then that game will be the perfect game for you. Well, actually, no, it won't, because it's not an actual fighting game like Street Fighter.
I don't fault Sparking Zero for being one thing or turning it into a gameplay type, but Dragon Ball is many things. You might think, well, Sparking Zero has a dedicated story mode, but at this point we've seen it.
Allow me to say this again. It's not supposed to have an in-depth story. That's why Kakarot exists. But even so, they still took the time to make what-if scenarios, such as Goku living in the Raditz fight, Krillin not dying against Frieza, even like making first-person point of views for some of these key moments. Like, they didn't have to do that. They could have just left it as is and, yeah, just retold the story. But they went out of the way to show us more.
Dragon Ball games tread the same ground until it's paved over. The Game Boy games, Legacy of Goku, retold the Z story, but had Goku punching wolves.
By the way, another game completely unrelated to how Sparking Zero plays.
Kakarot retold the Z story in its entirety. Xenoverse retold the story with some what-if and time travel elements, and included a somewhat lacking create a character.
Oh, Perfection would hate to see this video, bro. Bro, don't let Perfection see this. It's gonna be a wrap for Gameology.
Sparking Zero also has a story mode, but it'll be thin, because we've seen it before. Where are the well-thought-out stories?
So what about all the future Dragon Ball games that come out? Oh, here we go with the same story. You gonna keep making videos about how bad the story is?
To challenge the player's perceptions rather than regurgitate it. Heck, where's the story of Dragon Ball pre-Z? How far will we get in the manga? Will we get manga-only characters like Moro? Why not play through some of the less loved but still incredible movies?
I mean, some of these things are cool, like if they did manga only or manga characters as well, and clearly they're open to doing manga only because they've given characters manga only abilities and attacks. Sure, is it not in the base game? Wah. Is it probably going to come out? We'd have to wait and see.
Like Super Android 13, or have Janemba's Hell as a stage. What about a baseball mode? There's so much.
Oh, dude, go play JJK Curse Clash. That has the 8-bit baseball mode you're looking for.
Dragon Ball world that is ripe for an adaptation that, unfortunately, will be left out for the greatest hits. And it could be a better love letter and feel like less of a money grab if they were acknowledged. Instead, we just get Frieza blowing up Krillin for the millionth time. In my opinion,
You gotta admit, though, at least like this is the best version of Krillin dying.
Dragon Ball FighterZ is a much better use of the license and still has a robust,
Oh, look, an actual fighting game that isn't like Tenkaichi 3 or Sparking.
dedicated fan base after 6 years. Ultimately, a sequel to that series would be a better overall direction for the franchise. It's had just one main release and a handful of DLC over the last 6 years, and is a fresh take on the series, which is weird considering it's a 2D fighter. It's fast-paced and competitive, so much so that it had a presence at the EVO tournament for...
It's also an actual fighting game that doesn't fight like Dragon Ball, like Sparking Zero. This whole video is a nothing burger, bro.
5 of the last 6 years. There are 44 characters, and for the most part, they play differently and include some fighting game archetypes.
Bro, he could have used some of this on and talking about, you know, how to play Sparking or how to play Dragon Ball FighterZ, or what is Dragon Ball FighterZ, you know, instead of actually trying to do what the fuck this is.
Aren't present in arena fighters. It's relatively balanced with only a few insanely OP characters, but they literally just released a patch for that, and the graphics are still gorgeous. It needs more stages, and the menus are...
Dragon Ball FighterZ is an amazing game, but you know what it is? You know what also is? Do I need to say it again? It's also not.
That's true for most Dragon Ball games. Some moments that evoke nostalgia, like Gohan and Goku's iconic father-son Kamehameha, would be a whole-ass level in a Budokai game. Why can't the Budokai series just give the fans what we all came to see from...
Did you just say one moment would have been an entire level?
Nostalgia, like Gohan and Goku's iconic father-son Kamehameha, would be a whole-ass level in a Budokai game. Why can't the Budokai series just give the fans what we all came to see from the jump?
They did. It's called Sparking Zero, bro.
FighterZ does the same thing in special moves that only last a few seconds. There's so much more to mine.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Budokai would have been in a whole level, but in Dragon Ball FighterZ, they do the same thing where it lasts a couple of seconds, but all of a sudden it's greater, it's better because it's in FighterZ and not Tenkaichi.
Going back to arena fighters for another release feels like a step backward. The games industry has a bad habit of releasing rinse and repeat sequels. And we tend to...
He's not wrong about that. Let me look at Final Fantasy VII.
Support it by buying every new sports game or Call of Duty year after year. At least COD...
I don't understand the point of bringing unrelated unrelated genres of games into an argument on why Sparking Zero is bad.
It has a different story every time, but Dragon Ball still retreads familiar ground. Want to see Goku sacrifice via special beam cannon in the Saiyan saga?
You want to see him live? Play Sparking Zero. Hang on. Where's that? Sparking Zero is currently top of the charts on Steam and PlayStation. Wow. But no, Sparking Zero is bad, right? It's so familiar, but not in a good way.
It requires innovation if it's going to continue at this clip. So why go back to the well for another nostalgia fest? Being the official Tenkaichi 4 could be the kick in the pants the franchise needs. But I think a new, exciting direction is the way to go. This game will no doubt sell
a new, exciting direction, but all you did was glaze fighters and Street Fighter.
millions on name recognition alone. But I think its impact will quickly fade. I don't think we'll talk about it the same way years after release. I hope I'm proving...
That's a fucking lie. I can't believe that actually left his mouth.
Wrong, though. A lot of people look back fondly and call Tenkaichi 3 a high watermark.
Look at how long people have been playing Tenkaichi 3. That game came out 17 years ago. Guess what? Motherfucker's still playing it today.
And they deserve to be happy too. One of my friends is really excited about this game and couldn't give a flying...
It's him. He's one of his friends.
...nimbus about the game style being played out. I hope DBZ Sparking Zero is more than the same thing in prettier packaging. I hope it outdoes itself.
That's honestly all people really wanted was Tenkaichi 3, but better, and that's what we got. So I don't know what the argument is.
More fun than I got from the matches I played.
He didn't play shit. Don't believe that.
Maybe it'll exceed expectations. But
He didn't play. You know how? Because every single point and every single clip of footage he's shown has been from a different person and not him.
mine are very tempered. In the meantime,
Oh shit, FighterZ 2.
for a better use of the license.
All right, let's look at the comments and just see how other people are taking this information in. So like I said, 2 million subs. This came out 2 days ago. 2 million subscribers, okay? Keep that in mind. 21,000 views, and I guarantee you it's because the title is horrible. Like, and then also 300 likes. I guarantee you the dislikes are absurd. But anyway, let's look at the comments. Unsub because what the fuck is this, bro? Game ain't even out yet. Bro put out a review without even understanding the point of the game itself. The fact you're comparing it to competitive fighting games should be enough to invalidate your whole review because of the sheer incompetence a comparison like that shows. That sums up this whole video, bro. The older Budokai games were never balanced. Some characters were objectively way stronger than others, and that was by design. I'm an avid player of fighting games, particularly Street Fighter and Tekken. People who like those games and people who like games like Sparking Zero aren't the same target demographic. This video ain't it. Yeah, I got a checklist for you. L video, L review, not a true DB fan, never played Tenkaichi, L comparisons, rage bait. Yeah. The thing is like, if you watch this, don't take what they say. Take that. This shit it's so dumb. Dude just yapping. Just put my fries in the bag, bro. How did this dude get 2 million subs? I've never once in my life seen this channel. Same. Bro's complaining about the shit that everyone wanted. Dev's never intended to have all those things that you're complaining about. It's supposed to be mindless. I don't know if it's supposed to be mindless, but it definitely, your other points were right. And the channel just lost my respect. Bro really just crashed out for views with one of the dumbest takes I've ever heard in my life. It's like he's saying Street Fighter is bad because you do the same thing in Mortal Kombat. Oh my god. Anyway, yeah, as you can see, everyone else is on the same page. This shit's wild, bro. Anyway, I hope y'all found this entertaining. Who else can't wait for the 7th? If y'all new, sub, all that good stuff. If you like the video, leave a like. If you're like this guy, dislike it, bro. Get out of here. Anyway, y'all be safe.